Hi everybody, I am Andrew Lau. I'm so glad to see folks, so many people today. Wow, this is really unusual. There's a lot of people from all over the world joining us. So can you do me a favor? If you hear me loud and clear, can you actually give me a like? That way I could know you're on, and that would be good. And I'm putting on the Facebook Live now and see how it goes there. Okay, good. I put it on Facebook Live already. So can you also give me a one, if you can, on the chat window or in the question answer window, so I can hear you, that you can hear me. Oh, very good. Wow. I have people from so far, were people from Hong Kong, were people from Hawaii, were people from Los Angeles, Vancouver, Singapore, Australia, Malaysia. Whoa, a lot of people. Wow. 誒，今日好多謝各位，各位堂友都聽到我嘅呢個 webinar 嘅講書，咁好開心啦，因為見到大家都可以見到好多堂友咧 from 好多不同嘅地方，有澳洲啦，有新加坡啦，有呢個夏威夷啦，亦都有好多個係 from 呢個其他嘅地方，咁我真係十分多謝感激啊！ OK， 今日嘅 topic 咧係好重要喎，因為點解咧會講咩叫 A1C？OK，so 你會覺得咧呢個因為所有 doctor 嘅東西咧都係會講 A1C 嘅，咁所以變咗嚟講咧，最後咧呢個係一個十分 important 嘅 webinar。OK，today is a very important webinar because you know what? Every doctor will want to know what is your A1C. If you have a good A1C, they will decrease your medication. If you have more A1C higher, they will actually add more medication. And that is the key indicator. It's not your average morning, okay, I will see myself, how am I doing with my, fasting blood sugar. It doesn't work that way. It's all come by A1C. So also, by the way, if you in Facebook if you can hear me, can you give me a like or give me a one, or so I can understand, I can hear you and see you, so I will get an idea. Also, you hear me okay? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, give me a like or notification. That would be perfect. I think I saw quite a bit of like already. And so give me a like on your Facebook. 如果各位堂友咧喺 Facebook 睇到我嘅咧，俾個 like 我啦，咁我變咗我就知道你係可以睇到嘅。OK，thank you，多謝晒先。OK，so we're going to start the lecture now, and thank you very much for basically provide this, your important Saturday to listen to this very wonderful webinar. I think it's super good because you are actually, I can see you are now very motivated to try to understand better what is diabetes, what is pre-diabetic, so you can better prevent. I have so many patients and so many clients now who actually come back and say, hey, I don't really understand what is A1C, or I heard about A1C, but how does it work? And why it's so important to the doctors versus, I have to keep monitoring A1C. So today I will give you all the tricks to understand, all the tips to understand what is A1C and why you have to continue, monitor that big data. And you can go every time, ask the doctor, oh, what is my A1C? Because many of the doctors sometimes too busy. They forget to tell you, okay? So you have to keep asking that question. 各位同學，其實點解我做呢個特別咁呢堂咁重要咧？因為好多堂友問我咩叫 A1C 啊？點解去醫生嗰度要問咩啊？其實好多人都唔知，佢只話有個好似唔知咩血糖3個月嘅咁其實唔係嘅。因為如果 A1C 好多時醫生真係太忙，唔記得話俾你聽，冇問題。重要點咧係你要知道，知道咗之後就即刻咧就要 basically 要睇下個 A1C 係高啊低啊。咁我今日會教晒所有 tips 點解你要知道 A1C。OK， 咁我而家開始啦。嗱，咁我有第一咧，我要真係要唔好意思啊，因為好多新嘅堂友嚟到啦，咁佢哋係要知道點樣能夠 即係佢未有上過你個堂嘅，咁我哋都希望咧等佢 catch up 下啦。咁其實咧我就要呢兩張 slide 咧講我哋嘅舊陣時嘅東西。咁變咗嚟咧有3張 slide 咧，俾些少時間，因為我呢家有成60-70人係嗰啲係新堂友嚟嘅，咁我一定要佢要知道你講咩㗎，前面係咩嚟㗎，咁我依家要講俾你聽，好嘛？咁啦，咁我依家就首先咧就講呢個咩叫做舊陣時嘅 message 先，咁我哋就然後咧就加翻落去繼續落去講我哋現有嘅東西，好嘛？咁第一啦，嗱，其實咧糖尿病好簡單嘅，如果你有糖尿病嘅話咧，你其實咧仲要點咧？因為糖尿病咧係會 affect 晒你全身體嘅血管，所以點解糖尿病係咁奄尖同埋咁麻煩咧？因為全身體你係會即係撞晒板嘅，咁呢個嚟講咧係一個好嚴重嘅東西。如果你唔真係 take care 佢咧，你係可以好嚴重嘅病出現嘅。咁呢個係一個好大問題啦。咁所以其實咧點去知道你係咪啲糖尿病 OK 啊？咁第一咧就係真係要用血去 check 呢樣嘢嘅。所以如果你唔血知咧，你就唔知嘅。咁所以變咗呢個係一個重要東西。嗱，我you know why I spend a little more time to keep repeating this? You may say I heard this before, but I felt that we have so many new people comes in. I thought that it would be important. They also need to know why diabetics are so important because it affects your entire body, blood vessels. And if you don't take care of it, few years later, you are going to get all kind of complications. And when I'm ICU at ER nurse, I saw all that. And it really touched my heart to say, man, I really have to help all these people to better get aware rather than get them to be getting a heart attack and cut off the foot, getting ICU, wow, all kind of problems. And all these can be prevented. So that's why I want to make sure you guys are all catch up. Now, very simple. One thing you got to remember, if you are getting to be pre-diabetic or diabetic, it's the same thing. Just control your blood sugar. It's very simple. So how do you do that? If you are pre-diabetic, if you don't do anything, you don't change your lifestyle, you know what? In 3 years, you will convert to diabetes. And that's all in studies. And I saw a lot of Hong Kong people do that. A customer of mine came back and told me, Andrew, I wish I know you 3 years ago. I said, why? Because I'm now converted. And quite a few customers now came back to, and suddenly they're now drinking Lowsutea, and they dropped their A1c from 8, 9, 10, all now down to 6 and 5 point something. So I'm very happy they're doing that. But once they converted, you know what? They will be always called a diabetic. It won't change a bit. No change at all. 嗱，其實咧點解我咁重視，即係話俾各位聽咧，唔係淨係劇嚟劇集啦。第二樣嘢係好重要咧，原因咧就係因為我好多堂友咧翻到嚟，佢話劉生，我希望3年前識你好啦，因為佢一 convert 咗唔翻轉頭嘅，同埋咧好多係即係新嘅糖尿患病者，佢只係喺呢個前期患病者咧，佢真係3年咧好多時咧你乜嘢都唔做嘅時候咧，你喺3年後就變咗糖尿患病者啦，咁就好弊啦。如果糖尿患病者咩嘢唔做咧，你會更加差嘅糖尿病，更加弊，好多後患症。咁點 control 你血糖啊？其實好重要，你 control 你 diet。如果你 control diet，你可以做 exercise， 即係運動啦，control 你 weight 啦。咁咧其實咧 most 咧你都 control diet 嘅。咁如果食嘢係好重要嘅，記住唔好食白粉，即係話任何白嘅 food， 即係好似飯啊、意大利粉啊，食少啲東西，咁就會好幫助你㗎啦。其實粥我有個堂友同佢即係裝咗 Abbott Libby 啦，咁佢話：哇！我即係裝起呢隻嘢啊！咁佢話：喂，如果我有食粥嘅時候咧，原來咧就好特別喎。嗱，我今日 Abbott Libby 食埋早餐2.4，因為飲咗咩啊？去糖茶。咁但係咧，其實好重要咧，原來佢食咗粥咧去咗11、12喎，哇！嚇咗佢。點解咧？就原來粥咧係好快入血嘅。So you just remember your diet must actually get rid of all the white food like rice, potatoes, spaghetti, or eat a little bit, no soda, no juice. And so drink Lowsutea basically, because if you don't do that, your blood sugar go up. One example, one of my clients actually is got one of these Abbott Libby, and he said, wow, I eat kanchi. You know, after one bowl of kanchi, my blood sugar went up to 12. Which is something around 12 will be something around 220. So she said, wow, I didn't know 220, that's very high. So basically, that's what it is. Now, if you can drink Lowsutea, it really truly can hot and cold. It bring your blood sugar down, no calorie, no caffeine, and help you lower your blood sugar. Is all detox, and also decrease your LDL. Later on, I will further stress, LDL is a first sign of your really pre-diabetic. And basically, now we found studies showing that we can further discuss that later because that is very important. LDL decrease, because when LDL decrease, it hurts your what? B cells from the insulin, and B cell damage is not going to take the sugar into the vessel. 嗱，其實好重要嘅，你個 cholesterol 啊，你個膽固醇 LDL 膽固醇一定要降低嘅。如果唔係咧，佢會 damage， 即係整壞咗你個 B cells 胰島素嘅 B cell， 咁你 insulin 就冇乜用啦。咁變咗咧，佢唔帶糖入去血管嗰啲細胞裏邊啦，咁所以啲糖咧會繼續係咁高，所以呢個係好重要嘅 message 嚟嘅。咁第二樣嘢，你話喂，其實去糖係點做㗎？其實去糖就係點解真係咁 powerful 咧？第一，因為佢有個 graft liver 裏邊，咁佢就 block 咗啲糖咧入去個血管裏邊，咁變咗你少啲糖入去咯喎。咁仲有一樣好重要啊，佢有個bitter melon 即係苦瓜啦，就幫助好似胰島素啦，佢有個 glue 就帶啲糖入去 cells 度。咁其實兩樣加埋晒，啲糖就會跌㗎啦。其實我哋依家太多用家咧話，哇！我啲糖係咁跌落嚟㗎，慢慢跌好正。嗱 ，so you got to remember actually how Lowsutea work is very simple. One, they have a guava leaves help you to block the sugar going to your vessels, and then they have a bitter melon act like insulin because they have gluten and take the sugar into the cell. That's how it works. Very simple. But if you don't take care of blood sugar, it affects your heart. A lot of people have diabetic heart attack. Last week I talked about diabetic cause of kidney disease, and in future version I will talk about heart disease. And the vision next week, Professor Jane Young will come to talk to you and share you what is diabetic blindness and all the good stuff in there. So you have to be actually spend some time next week. Unfortunately, it is going to be at 3:30 p.m. because Professor Chan has a surgery in the morning, and so we have scheduled at 3:30, which is 9:30 Hawaii time. So do attend because that is already an extremely popular class. Right now, we have very high number of sign-ups, so let's sign up early. If you cannot get in, you got to go into the Facebook to see because that is the most important things you have to do. On top of because then you build awareness, because I have a lot of customers now ask, oh, you know, I only have 3 years diabetic, but how come my eyes get blurred? And then we found out it's not blurred because short-sightedness or whatever, but it's because diabetic. Oh, she was so shocked. I do not think that I will be in that stage. But guess what? It was in that stage. So you got to be very careful in that. Certainly, we have a lot of elderly person who are diabetes and they get stroke. So doctor will say, hey, you got stroke, but never did really clearly mention what is the stroke caused by. It was really from diabetes. So really, you really need to be careful on that. Plus the nerve damage, and certain men have a lot of difficulty with that because they will have affected their sex life. And also, for example, women and men will decrease their extremity circulation. If you get injured, it don't heal, and what? Oh, terrible, because they will end up with one more item, cut out your foot. It's called gangrene. So those are the horrible things that you have experienced, which I don't want you to get into that route. So do think of lower your blood sugar, drink Lowsutea. Really important. 我哋覺得好重要啦。其實我哋上個禮拜講咗點叫腎病啦、糖尿病同腎病嘅關係啦。咁我哋會下幾堂之後咧就講心嘅。但下一個堂好重要，記住啊，因為好難請呢個醫生嘅。咁佢個名叫 Jane Young， 佢係教中文大學啦，好多家庭醫學院嘅醫生都係佢教出嚟嘅，係關於糖尿癌。咁好多人咧就話：哇！我唔知點解喎，忽然間糖尿癌咧，我哋忽然間會知道點解會有糖尿癌嘅。我只係3年嘅糖尿病患病者喎，我唔記得有糖尿癌咁重嚴重，唔係嘛？我係近視嘅，其實 end up 佢已經係糖尿癌。所以其實咧，下個禮拜10月19號咧，有好多人已經sign up咗啊！咁所以變咗嚟講，如果你真係入唔到嚟咧，你就去 Facebook 你睇啦 所以早啲生咧係咪幫助你嘅 ？OK， 咁仲有樣嘢咧就如果你係中風咧，係好多人係會中風嘅。如果係糖尿病，同埋仲有好多人呢個神經嘅系統係 damage 咗啦。咁佢腳咧亦都唔係咁 sensitive 咧，好 dry 啦。如果你有冇 injury 咧，要割咗隻腳，咁就真係好陰功啦。即係我希望我哋做晒咁嘅 lecture 咧，係唔會令到你哋咧個個都會變咗去咗嗰條路啊！我唔想你去嗰條路啊！我想你日日咁健康，日日咁 happy， 日日係去 enjoy life。呢個係我嘅 mission。所以變咗嚟講咧，我都希望你係咁做呢樣嘢 ，will be very good。OK， 嗱，咁我講正題咯喎。點解 HbA1c 咁重要啊 ？for 糖友同埋前期患病者都需要，係冇錯。前期患病者亦都知道要 HbA1c， 因為咧呢個咧係好重要嘅 indicator， 同埋糖尿病亦都好重要嘅 indicator。咁啦，其實咧 HbA1c 咧係講及咧你係2至3個月裏邊你個 average 你個平均血糖係幾多嘅？咁其實呢個點解會睇2至3個月平均血糖咧？嗱，首先講咗啊。HbA1c 咧英文咧就叫做 glycohemoglobin test， 呢個咧係講即係話你個紅血球個紅血球裏面咧係有個蛋白，裏邊咧係幫你咧係去啲糖咧會放咗入去裏邊嘅，即係佢會即係 attach 嗰個紅血球嘅蛋白。咁變咗嚟講咧，當你有呢樣嘢嘅時候咧，你係紅血球係生大概係3至3個月到嘅啫。咁如果佢知道你有幾多 percent 幾多個百分點嘅糖咧 attach 去，咁佢就知道有幾多糖喺個血管裏邊。咁所以咧，呢個係所有醫生第一次去睇嘅，一定係用去睇 average blood sugar 喺你 A1c 度。So why A1c is so important? Because A1c is called glycohemoglobin test, and HbA1c is a common test for all pre-diabetic as for all diabetic. Now, the reason why pre-diabetic will need to take this test twice a year, the reason is because they have to know whether are you converting, and later I'll tell you what is the number. But importantly, they will always check that first, especially people start coming in. Many of them, they have high cholesterol, LDL, high blood pressure. Now, that is the time you need to start asking the doctor, can I take my A1c? Make it easier. Don't have to remember HbA1c. Just tell them, can I take my A1c? Doctor will know. And then that way you will say, okay, because now you're alerted, you become pre-diabetic. If you are pre-diabetic, then naturally you have to start actually taking action to lower your blood sugar. So if you are diabetes, you take every 3 months, the doctor will come back and say, hey, you are diabetic, you have to take this every 3 months. So they will monitor that because all the medication, adjustment, everything is based on that data. If you are over 7 and continue 10 or 7 or 8, they will probably increase your medication. Okay, so very important. Now, if you drink Lowsutea, you will see your A1c coming down. I'll give you some example. One of our client, Pat husband, A1c over 10, and because drinking Lowsutea, it came back down to 6.1. So no more insulin. So those are the data you will see. And actually, I just talked to one of my other clients. His A1c also coming down, average daily blood sugar. I just called him today. And so Lowsutea definitely will help you on that one. Now, what happened, as I mentioned, hemoglobin is a protein that attach O2. You go all over the whole body. You must have that. And the blood sugar will bind the hemoglobin. And then, so when you take the blood sugar A1c, we'll see how much sugar it attached or bound to the hemoglobin. And net result, after, because the hemoglobin blood cells will live about 3 months. So you will know in 3 months how many percent you attach to that. So that percentage is different from the one that you are actually doing your morning blood sugar in the morning with no food. That is called regular blood glucose, and usually in two forms. One is called milligram per dil, which is in the United States, and in Hong Kong is mmol per liter. So one is the UK system, one is the United States system. Now, United States system, most likely you will have, and later I'll give you that slide also, you take a picture. You basically should be somewhere in the neighborhood in average, you should do about 120 in the United States. So 120 milligram per dil. And in Hong Kong, you should become about 6.7 or so mmol per liter. So that is the common thing. And I also give you the conversion factor. Later on, you should take a picture, and that will be good for you to see how that all related. 嗱，其實 hemoglobin 咧係一個 protein 嚟嘅，呢個紅血球嘅蛋白質蛋白個血球嚟嘅。咁佢係 hold 咩嘅咧？所有嘅 oxygen 咧都係擺喺個紅血球裏面㗎。咁如果你係全身都係喎，咁如果你好多糖咧，佢啲糖咧就會去黐住呢啲紅血球嘅hemoglobin 嘅蛋白。咁然後咧佢就知道有幾多 percent， 譬如好似7% 啊、6% 啊，去 attach 咗呢個紅血球。咁因為紅血球咧好特別，佢係生大過3個月嘅啫。咁所以變咗嚟講係一個十分好嘅，知道哇原來我3個月內我紅血球係 6.5% 或者7%。嗱，當你越整越高嘅時候，即係話你嘅糖尿病，如果過咗 6.5 已經糖尿病啦。咁我再講講呢個係點 work 嘅。嗱，其實好簡單。第一，如果你係空腹吉血嘅咧，咁其實咧多數如果你冇糖尿病咧，你係應該係由 3.9 至 5.5 嘅啫。OK？ 嗱 ，if you are non-diabetic, you are absolutely okay, and so your typical fasting blood sugar is supposed to be 70 to 99 milligram per dil. Okay, this is a very normal figure. Now, if you are a diabetes, most likely you'll be between 4.4 to 7.2 milliliters. So I use 7 as a number for UK, easy to remember. For United States, will be 80 to 130. 嗱，好簡單嘅。如果你係空腹嘅，就70至99係。如果你係美國式啦，英式咧就係唔可以過 5.5 嘅。你係如果唔係糖尿病者，如果你係糖尿病者，最緊要你唔好過7，同埋仲有咧，如果美國式咧就唔好過130。OK， 呢個空腹督糖。嗱，呢個督糖咧同你嗰個 A1c 唔同㗎，因為你睇到左手邊個呢個 slide 講得好清楚。如果你係120嘅話，其實你個 A1c 咧係6%。底下咧我亦都有個 formula 俾你嘅。咁呢個係1254咧，其實咧就係美式嗰個叫做milligram per dil。嗱，1254即係話我係大概 8.6 咁上下啦，再加46除 2.87， 咁你就知個 A1c 係幾多 ？OK， 即係大概7啦。OK， 知唔知？嗱，可唔可以大家我停一停，影張相先，因為呢個咧係幫助你真係明白乜嘢叫 A1c， 同埋咧你自己可以識計有嘅計先。底下條 formula， 呢兩條 formula 你可以計嘅。呢個係美式嘅154，咁其實你亦都可以睇下呢度咧，呢度係美式啦，呢度係 UK 即係英國式啦。咁呢個 number 咧就係依用翻，你一定要寫低佢啊，或者你抄佢。我停一停，你影張相先，各位啊。如果影張相嘅，你可唔可以寫個1字？可唔可以影張相寫個1字？如果影張相嘅話，咩1字？或者俾個即係 OK 俾我啦嚇。OK， 如果可以影到相嘅。嗱，如果影相之後 OK 啦 ，OK Pat 多謝晒 ，OK Pat，OK， you take the picture。嗱，呢個係重要嘅，因為咧將來咧 ，if you take a picture，give me a 1 because this is going to be a very important formula to calculate your A1c. So for a US friend, you can actually take a picture that you can actually easily calculate what is your A1c. Now, why at the end of the day, after you eat, in 2 hours, your blood sugar go up naturally because you have food, it will convert it to blood sugar, and your blood sugar will go up. And so your US, your blood sugar, if you go up, will be about 140 milligram per deal. For Hong Kong, you'd be about, if you're a normal person, it would be 7.8, no more than 8, okay? This is normal person without diabetes. But you're diabetic, guess what? Your blood sugar should no more than 10, okay? And for US, it should no more than 180 milligram per deal. Now that is an important number because we always try to achieve, if we eat, if I'm a diabetes or if I'm pre-diabetic, I should not more than 10, and I should be not more than 180 for US. And you know your A1C is 5.7 if I'm not a diabetes, but if I'm diabetic, it's over 7.0. And actually, the present time, the doctor has indicated, if you are over 5.7 to 6.4, you are pre-diabetic. 5.7 to 6.4. If you're over 7, you need medication. That's how they determine, okay? Let me just make sure everybody understand. 嗱，如果你係糖尿前期患病者，你係5.7以上至到6.4，呢個 range 就係個 A1C， 即係幾多個 percent of 糖咧 attach 去你個紅血球個細胞啦，呢個蛋白質啦。咁如果你5.7至6.4，你就係前期患病者。如果你係高過6.5嘅話，你就已經係糖尿患病者。如果高過7之後，醫生就會俾藥你食。咁呢個咧係好 common 㗎啦。咁所以嘅話咧，你就 always keep 住咧問醫生點解我前期患呢需要知呢樣嘢，因為如果你係6.1，好快脆就6.2；如果咩唔做，好快就6.3，好快就轉咩6.5。咁你就已經轉咗啦。咁轉咗嘅時候好弊啦，因為一轉咗之後你唔翻得轉頭嘅，一轉咗就係㗎啦。So keep that in mind. Once you convert it, you are converted. You cannot go back. So keep that in mind. The A1C become extremely important. And keep this formula here. And I think that a lot of attendees already took the picture. So this is a very important, slide to keep. And I'll take another picture of this one, because this gives you the US system, milligram per deal, minimal per deal, minimal per liter. So can you take a picture of this, and you can take a picture like Pat, you take a picture, give me a 1. 嗱，各位堂友好重要啦，我俾咗美式同中式，因為要你呢個 number 咧，譬如頭先佢所講啊，140幾個 number 咧，依度咧就係講個 milligram per deal， 或者係話俾你聽，依個就係個 number， 即係你係7.8啦，或者我係8嘅150啊，咁上邊咧 milligram per deal 就係頭先所 calculate 嗰個 formula 咧，係可以幫助你咧去知道 make 叫 A1C 個 calculation。咁你 plug 咗之後咧，次次讀，即係篤咗手指啊！你或者如果你有Ability 咧，其實佢計埋俾你嘅。咁佢呢個咧就係用呢個 formula 做咗出嚟嘅。So if you have Ability, they'll give you the average blood sugar anyway. So you already know pretty much very close to what is your A1C. But if you actually plug your finger, you will actually need this number. Like for example, I'm 8.3. What is my number? Is 150. So you need that number 150 to plug into your formula to calculate what is your A1C. OK， 所以其實咧好重要咧，你要知道，譬如我篤手指，我知道8.3嘅，咁我就知道咧，原來喺美式嗰度咧係150嘅。咁呢個咧就係你嘅東西咧，就要加落你自己個頭先所睇個 formula， 即係呢一度嘅 formula， 呢個 formula 嗰度啊，呢個154就係嗰個頭先所講嘅，我嗰個 number 再加46，然後除翻 2.8， 咁你就揾到 A1C，which is 大概係7啦。咁亦都睇到嘅，咁你可以揾你自己試一試咧就知㗎啦。咁各位朋友影張相，係我見到好多人啦，係都影咗相啦。Okay，everybody seems to have the picture. Thank you very much. I will go on. So I talk about really if you are diabetic, you're really able to most likely you take every 3 months. Of A1C. Actually, in Hong Kong government are very good about it. Your Hong Kong government, every time you see them, guess what? They will take an A1c test for you every 3 months if you have diabetes. Or sometimes they don't take it because you are so-called early diabetes, they do every 6 months. Now, if you are pre-diabetic, they usually do it every 6 months for sure. They won't do it every 3 months, okay? And then sometimes you go, if you're very, very low, they mean do it 1 year, but they will check, okay? 嗱，其實咧，各位堂友好特別啦。如果你係去政府醫院睇咧，多數佢3個月如果糖尿病咧，佢一定睇你 A1c 嘅。但係有啲如果你係好即係好輕微嘅糖尿病咧，咁佢可能6個月先睇你。如果你係pre-diabetic 即係前期患病者，佢多數係6個月或者1年先做一次嘅 A1c。咁當然啦，普通人咧，如果係多數唔過5.6咧，咁你就已經係普通人嘅 A1c 啦。但係如果前期患病者，記住5.7、6.4就已經前期患病啦。嗱，如果你2次做咗6.4咧嘅 step 去2次6.5咧，咁你就已經叫做 converted 嘅喎。咁個醫生就應該話：呢個糖尿病病者，你唔翻轉頭嘅，醫生叫你話俾你聽，呢個就 diagnose 係糖尿病病者。如果你過7咧 ，guess what？ 你就開始有一定需要食藥㗎啦，或者係唔會打針住，多數食藥先嘅，多數俾metformin俾你食。So remember, when you go to the doctor, they will check A1c. If you're like diabetes or pre-diabetic, usually 6 months to a year. If you're pre-diabetic, usually 6 months a year. But you have diabetes, they usually every 3 months take A1c. But if your blood sugar go up as high as 7, they will make sure to give you medication, usually start with metformin. And if they progress, that depends on the doctor. Sometimes you get 8, 9. You know what? They will put you on insulin. A lot of the traditional doctors will do that. That's why you want to bring your blood sugar down. But on the end, there's actually a lot of medication can better help you. But a lot of people, when you get 10, they will give you insulin. So you don't want to do that, then drink Lowsutea, bring it down, because you will see the result. Now, why? A lot of people say, well, I'm not pre-diabetic. Why I need to know my A1c? And the reason is because many pre-diabetic patients are really identify themselves basically a very, very accident. Now, I have so many clients tell me, I said, how do you know that you have diabetes? They said, well, because I went to apply insurance, they rejected me because I'm already diabetes or I'm already pre-diabetic. And so I have a lot of friends here in my group. They say, I was rejected because they said my A1c was 6.4. Oh, why 6.4? You're not even diabetes yet. But I will become a diabetes because they said I'm so close. So a lot of these people will give you that kind of comment. And on top of that, many of them is actually went to see the doctor. And they said, wow, actually, I said, why you went to see the doctor? They said, oh, because I went to the doctor, my blood sugar went up. And also the reason I went there is not really check blood sugar, is because I'm going to check my cholesterol and I have high blood pressure. So basically the blood sugar was never mentioned until they went there and checked with the LDL cholesterol and then have blood pressure. And you know what is the reason why? And I will explain a little bit after I explain to my Hong Kong clients first. 其實點解好多人咧都係糖尿患病者？我講好多故事俾你，好多糖友都係咁話俾你。我去睇醫生其實唔係因為我係睇糖尿病嘅，我睇醫生因為血壓高或者係呢個膽固醇高。咁但係好多時咧去睇呢個驗身咧就係買驗疏啊。咁個醫生話 sorry 我唔保你啦。個原因咧因為佢 A1c 6.4就係6.5啦，6.5就 convert 嘅咯。咁佢唔保佢或者要加錢。咁所以邊嚟講好多依個情況下咧，好多人就睇到，哇，點解係咁嘅？因為佢個血糖就去到已經 borderline 就嚟轉，一轉咗糖尿咧，保險唔保啦。咁所以佢其實咧即係 find surprise 喎。咁如果係咁講嘅話咧，當你有呢個膽固醇高，當你有血糖高，第3高一定係糖 ，OK？ 咁所以變咗嚟講，呢兩樣嘢咧，你真係要注意，只係時間嘅問題啫，幾時高上係時間嘅問題。Now, really, I need to tell you folks that if you are pre-diabetic, in 3 years you don't do anything, you know what? Most likely, the data show that they will convert to be a diabetes. The reason is because if the lifestyle doesn't change, they continue to eat a lot of sugars item, donuts, whatever, they will get them into that stage, okay? Now, let me share with you why when you're pre-diabetic, doctor will not basically do anything for you. The reason is because you are not a diabetes yet. So in rule of the medication, they cannot give you any. So you are basically, they just say, hey, don't eat too many sweet and maybe change your lifestyle. But unfortunately, majority of the people don't understand, what do we eat any sweet? Okay, I don't eat cakes anymore. But they still eat rice, they still eat spaghetti, they still eat a lot of the high carb food. And also they maybe still overweight. All these things come in place. They do not change the lifestyle. The A1C will convert. So this is the major problem we saw many people why they convert. Now, let me tell you how these things start off first. First, you have blood vessels. And first started off with your item will be your cholesterol. And later I will give a seminar just for that. And the cholesterol will start building up. And net result, your cholesterol will become what they call lipotoxicity. And net result with that, the lipotoxicity will damage the B cell from the insulin. And the B cell will become another problem is called B cell dysfunction. Even in other words, the B cell no longer work anymore. And if that's the case, it doesn't carry the sugar into where? The cells. And then your blood vessel inside, the sugar will continue to go up because more sugar not going to the cell. Next step, the sugar increase will also damage the B cell again. So more and more B cell will be dysfunction. So it's like a catch-22, continue to damage your B cells. Now, net result, your cholesterol will build plaque on the vessels. And net result with that, you know what? Your space in the vessel will be less. Net result, your blood pressure will go up. So that is your second stage. Your blood pressure go up. Now, at that time, most likely, many of you will say, hey, my blood sugar going up. I went to see a doctor, and guess they will start seeing that LDL cholesterol goes up, blood pressure go up. And usually, if you are 40, 50 years old, the chance of it happen is very high. And then the next stage, if you did not change your lifestyle, I continue to do the kind of things I do. I eat the same stuff. I continue to eat a lot of calories, a lot of carbs. Your weight have not come down. The blood pressure continue goes up. And then the third stage will come. And that third stage is what? It is going to be your pre-diabetic. You know what? The more and more sugar will attach into your hemoglobin. And your hemoglobin will go from 5.7% to 6.4%. If I say, I don't do anything anymore, you will continue going up, and net result, your A1C will be surpassed 6.5. If you have do 2 times that test, you are considered converted to be a diabetic. That's how the sequence. And I will do a seminar on that later on. 嗱，好重要咧，其實咧，當我哋好多時去睇醫生嘅時候，我哋首先呢個係血管啊，呢個圓林就係血管啊。咁我哋咧第一就係個 LDL 嘅膽固醇上升，咁佢其實咧就令到啲血咧就好結啲血嘅時候咧，同埋個血糖咧就會令到嗰個叫做胰島素裏面個 B cell 個 beta cell 會損毀，咁佢就帶唔到啲糖咧入去個血管嗰啲 cells 裏邊，即係細胞裏邊。當帶唔到入去裏邊嘅時候，弊家伙啦，多糖喺個血管度游嚟游去咧，咁嗰個糖咧多糖亦都繼續 damage 個 B cell 喎，繼續去損毀個 B cell 喎，咁你更加麻煩啦。咁當你做呢樣嘅時候咧，嗰個 cholesterol 咧就開始 form 一啲 plaque 脂肪喺個血管裏邊。咁個脂肪喺個血管裏邊咧越整越細啦呢度。咁第二樣嘢係咩？上升啊，血壓上升啦，咁就第二個 stage 啦。當你血壓上升之後咧，咁你咩都唔做啊，又唔減糖，又唔減食，繼續咁咧， 咁弊家伙啦，你第3個 stage 咧就變咗糖尿前期患病者。咁你其實咧就因為好多糖咧就開始 attach 你個頭先我所講個 hemoglobin 個紅血球細胞裏邊，咁有個 percentage 啊，開始就5.7，整咗6.4，再過咧6.5，你就已經做2次測驗咧，你就變咗糖尿啦。咁第3個 stage 係咩啊？你變咗前期患病者，就5.7至6.4咯。如果你乜嘢唔做嘅，又唔做嘢嘅時候咧，你就變咗呢個糖尿患病者啦。嗱，好可憐嘅，因為當你係喺5.7至6.5嘅時候，因為你唔係糖尿病啊，醫生係冇藥俾你食嘅，只係話，嘿，你唔好食咁多甜嘢啊。咁你做咩好啊？好重要，飲咩啊？去糖茶，幫助你降低血糖，幫助你降低個 A1c。咁當然咧，我哋仲有5個 program 幫助你，教你係點食 diet 啊，點 weight control 啊，點做 exercise 啊，點去 track 你 blood sugar 啊，同埋我哋聽好多 doctors webinar 啊，係幫助你 build 你個 awareness， 幫助你知道乜嘢叫糖尿病。咁咧你就永遠唔會過咗6.5啦。OK， 呢個係我哋個最重要，現在提供呢個 mission 俾我，希望你哋做到。咁你就唔會去到嗰條路咧6.5。咁其實係咪做唔到啦？好多行業依家做緊嘅，好多行業好 successful， 亦都好多行業已經改轉咗，佢係已經 diabetes 咧，依家去緊6.1或者5點幾，哇，好開心啊！呢啲人係全部係做到嘅。OK，so at the end of the day, when you are 5.7 to 6.4, the doctor cannot give you medication because you are not really diabetic. There's nothing to do. So they will just say, hey, don't eat any sweet or don't limit the sweet, cut it down. But you really don't know what to do. That's nothing can help you, right? So if you drink Lowsutea, it will definitely help you to lower the blood sugar. And as you lower the blood sugar, it will able to eliminate you to convert to from 5.7. First of all, it will not convert you, go to 5.7. You convert to 5.7, will not help you to go into over 6.5. So you will always become a pre-diabetic, or you eliminate back to go back before you become diabetic. So if you drink that tea and continue to start doing your exercise, your weight control, control your diet, and continue track your blood, and then listen to doctor webinar to build your understanding of diabetes, man, you have become very successful. Will never able to convert you to be a diabetes. Or you already diabetes will convert, not you can't convert back, but at least make your blood sugar with A1c get back to 6, 6.1, whatever. So you continue to have low blood sugar and make you healthy. And a lot of people actually, when they do this, we notice that B cells work better and the resistance work better, and that result your blood sugar really go down. Now, one more thing, a lot of people ask, why you have to measure your blood sugar 2 hours after meal? 好多人問啊，點解我要食嘢後2個鐘頭咧去睇我哋個blood sugar 啊？好重要個原因咧，第一，因為咧當你食完嘢嘅時候咧，你個 sugar 會 go up 嘅。咁如果你係淨係剔咗所謂我哋嘅空腹咧，係有一個好嚴重，好多時咧你係 mislead 咗嘅。然後我自己再話，嗱講個真實個案俾你聽啦。因為我個醫生話咧 ，Andrew 你係糖尿，你係即係 ICU nurse 啊，你識㗎啦。嗱記住啊，因為你依家就嚟糖尿㗎啦，因為你個 A1c 過差唔多6點幾㗎啦。咁我聽咗之後咧係入唔到腦嘅。亦都去到邊度啊？去到6.9我都入唔到腦 ，until 我睇翻2個鐘頭後嘅血糖，咁我就哇弊啦，我係10幾嘅原來，咁我知道原來咧自己係中咗招嘅已經係，咁所以變咗嚟講咧 ，measure 你血糖係2個鐘頭後裏邊食咗幾多嘢，你知道嘅時候咧，你就會幫助你咧係 at least 知道你個關喺邊度。好，最緊要唔可以過10，如果你 pre-diabetic。嗱，我因為做咗好多功夫咧，咁我而家2個鐘頭食咗早餐啦。Guess what? Mine is 5.2，OK？ 咁真係得嘅喎呢個，同埋當然啦，我飲去糖茶啊。OK，so really at the end of the day, very important. A lot of times that we do know, you have to actually make sure you measure your blood sugar after 2 hours. Then you really see, can your body able to handle your blood sugar? If you don't do that, you actually misleading some, including me. Actually, I actually misled myself for almost a couple of years to say, well, I'm okay. My fasting blood sugar is only 5 or 6. No problem. Wrong. Actually, after 2 hours, I start realizing my blood sugar is over 11 or 12. And that's really terrible. And so, but now I notice after I drink Lowsutea, you know what? My blood sugar dropped down very fast. Within an hour or so, get back to normal, like 6, and then eventually go down to 5 something. And you can see this is after breakfast. My blood sugar is what? It's 5.2. So it's very simple. You can see, and that's why Abbott Libby can really good to help you understand what's happening. Now, if you really need to measure, if you don't have an Abbott Libby, no problem. But this one is basically give you a better result, calculate average blood sugar. But if you don't, it's no problem. You just continue to measure your blood sugar, because picking finger, okay, is if you pick a finger, it's only 1 point where you are at that time, which is like 7 o'clock. I have my fasting blood sugar, and I know my blood sugar is this. But when you get down to lunch and dinner, you don't know. So you need to test that so you can see. So that's why I really prefer the glucometer of like a Abbott painless measure. But if not, you can use one of these glucometer is okay. 所以其實咧度糖咧，其實就唔係淨係度一個 point 嘅，一定要度餐前或者空腹去到食完飯之後點樣。咁其實咧我哋點能夠降低 A1C 好重要。第一 diet 呢個係好重要嘅，同埋仲有 exercise。第三減肥。第四，如果醫生俾藥你食咧，你一定要食藥啊。可以醫生睇你 A1C 降低咧，佢減藥嘅，一路減落嚟。咁仲要啦，要飲呢個去糖茶，因為去糖茶真係幫到你咧，係降低血糖嘅。呢個好似一個話 sugar booster 咁嘅，即係 lower sugar booster。OK， 咁其實幫助你 A1C 跌落嚟咧好簡單。So to bring down the A1C very simple. You have to really control your diet, not a lot of high carb item. You have to exercise. You have to lose weight, and then you have to take a medication, and absolutely got to take a medication, and then you have to drink, actually Lowsutea definitely will help. So now I also gave you a sugar tracking data. Maybe you can take a picture with that. Then you can actually write down your sugar. If you just pick a finger, if you actually even use your Abbott Libby, you can also use this form. So this will help you to understand tremendously what is your blood sugar before and after. 嗱，請各位 take 一個 picture 啦，因為呢個幾會好有幫助嘅，幫助你咧知道咧呢個係點去 monitor， 同埋好多我哋糖友點啊，佢仲有一樣好咧，就寫得我食咗乜嘢，喺每一個情況下，咁就幫助你第時咧喺呢個生活習慣度改變啊。好似我食咗叉燒包，我係如果糖高噏嘅，咁你就唔好食嗰啲叉燒包啦，或者食咗冬日又係啦。If you eat something like donut, I remember Faye was very good. He was saying that when I eat my donut, it go boom, go up. Then I say, yes, you got to be very, very careful with your sugar. Don't eat the donut. And I have a lady who is 70-something years old, and she has an Abbott Libby, and she doesn't eat the char siu bao, and her blood sugar was 12, 13, and dropped down now 6. Without just the char siu bun, the sweet bun. 哇，好特別啊！真係冇咗叉燒包，已經跌到由10幾跌到6點幾啊！咁真係好開心。OK， so I basically I will conclude. Just give you this conclusion first. Maybe after that I will let's see. Okay, in summary, you have to understand. A1C is a very important blood checking to give you understand the indication what you are at. Usually it takes about 2 to 3 months. And that will be good for pre-diabetic or diabetes. Pre-diabetic, you usually go with a longer time, which is 6 months or 1 year. But diabetes usually 3 months or 6 months. They usually do that. And keep in mind, normal people should be no more than 5.6, and pre-diabetic is 5.7 to 6.4. And if they're about 6.5, they're diabetic already. And by 7, you need to take medication. And daily blood sugar fasting is only 1 point, so it does not give you the real picture. So you really need to take pre-dinner, pre-lunch, and pre-breakfast, and after. Then you can really tell. So certainly you have a lot of finger picking. So then maybe the next thing, maybe use the Abbott Libby, give you no pain. And to bring down your A1C, you really got to exercise, diet, lose weight, take medication, and last, drink Lowsutea tea. 嗱 ，summary 我要再做一個即係 summary 啦。第一，好重要 A1C 咧，2至3個月咧係 for 糖友嘅，即係真係糖尿病者啦。如果前患者係6至12個月，多數普通人咧係唔過6、5.6嘅 A1C。如果喺 pre-diabetic 咧係5.7至6.4啦，糖友之後咧一定7一定要食藥嘅。咁同埋咧最重要咧，如果你篤手指就係 fasting 呢個空腹咧，就係1個時間啫，唔係講成日。所以如果你話要真係知道咧，我應該未食嘢之前係點樣啊，食嘢之後點樣，要6次，哇好痛！咁我所以咧有呢個 Abbott 個 Libby 咧就可以做到呢個唔使痛嘅東西，可以度咗個糖，好似依家講就可能夠知道，喂我係幾嘛？我有幾多呢個5.3啦，咁我好正喎依家係嘛？咁同埋咧一定要做 diet 啦，即係要食嘢揀擇啦，要運動啦 ，lost weight 啦 ，take medication 啦，咁呢啲全部係會幫到你嘅。咁嗱，我哋就今日咧依家就講埋咧，就要開始講點做呢個2 gram carb 嘅 pizza， 即係2克 carb 嘅 pizza。嗱 ，pizza 好容易做嘅啫。其實咧呢個咧就你可唔可以大家影一張相啊？咁呢個咧影一張相，因為呢個都有好多説明喺度啦。或者你影張相好唔好？Can everybody take a picture? Give me a 1 if you take a picture using a phone. Take a picture of the ingredient instruction, and then I'll go play my video. And it's a very good, delicious pizza. I tried it. My friend tried it. I gave to many people try it, including my Singapore friend, Peggy. She tried. She said this is really good and delicious. So I hope that you can get that because it's only 2 gram carb. It's really a good pizza. And try that, and I think you'll like it. So I think that a lot of people take a picture. Okay, give me one more one from Hong Kong. Pat, give me one. Okay, good. I think you got one. Okay, good. Take a picture. All right, now I'm going to play the video, and then I go from there. Okay, hold on. I'm back with Tammy, you're here. Or you can make it as a lunch, or you can make it as dinner. This time I'm going to get you to have cauliflower pizza. Wow, wonderful! Because this pizza is about couple carbs, couple gram carbs also. If you can hear my video just now, can you put a 1 so I know you actually can hear? Okay, no sound. Okay, let's see. No sound. Okay. So as a healthy, how about pizza, now? Can you hear me? The sound? Wonderful, it's delicious. But so before I start, I have to do something to make the pizza base. Instead of making flour, I use cauliflower to make the base. Hi, I'm Lowsutea President. 嗱，今日咧我介紹一個好特別嘅東西，就係點啊 ？pizza 薄餅啊，就唔係用麵粉做嘅，係用咩啊？白椰菜花做嘅。咁第一樣嘢咧，我哋就要做咩啊？我哋就要做個 base。個 base 係佢個即係 instead of 用嗰個麵粉做啦，咁我而家就用椰菜花咁做。咁仲有一樣嘢做咧，要做咧係 grind 到佢grain， 即係如果整咗椰菜花嚟呢度啦，咁好簡單啫，係咧做咗呢樣啊，你睇到。So first of all, I'm not using flour. I use this cauliflower. So you have to grain it, and so the way how to do it is you do this, and then you just go do that, and then you get all that in powder. And I'll show you how later on to dry it. Okay? So I'm going to do all that, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, today we're going to do a pizza, and the pizza base is actually cauliflower. And so what I did is I grated the cauliflower, and after that I used a pan to dry out the cauliflower. That's what we're doing. Hello， 我哋今日咧就做一個 pizza， 好正嘅 pizza 啊！咁呢個 pizza 咧就係個 pizza 裏面嗰個底板咧就唔係用麵粉嚟做嘅，係用 cauliflower 即係cauliflower 做嘅。咁變咗嚟講咧係一個菜嘅底啦。咁所以變咗咧就會一個係好好用嘅東西。咁你能夠令到你咧嗰度係唔係好多嘅carbs，OK？ 咁我而家會做緊呢樣嘢，咁我就話咩？我而家係咁去將呢鑊咧係乾咗啲 cauliflower，OK？ 咁我而家其實咧就喺度慢慢整乾佢嘅。So what we're doing is I'm just drying out the cauliflower and make sure the cauliflower is dry. So we'll make the base. Later on, when we do the base, instead of the base using like flour. We're not using flour, we use cauliflower, okay? So we will do that. And so we go making the dry now. You can see what we're doing, and dry up the cauliflower. Okay, I'm back. Now, just now, you saw me put the grated cauliflower or back in powder, pretty much in small, not powder, but it's small pieces form. And then I put it onto the pan, fry pan, and I have the medium heat for about 10 minutes. No water, no oil. 嗱，頭先你睇到咧，已經係磨咗嘅白椰菜乾粉啦，粉咗之後咧，咁然後都收咗地嘅。咁我就擺喺個 pan 嗰度，你就見到我咧就開始就用個 pan 咧，唔好用水，唔好用油，只係10分鐘。係咁搞到乾為止，咁搞完之後咧就變咗係咁啦 ，OK？ 咁依家咧就可以做我哋嘅 pizza 個底啦 ，OK？ 即係薄餅底嘅，唔係就唔用，我哋唔會用呢個麵粉，但係依家用咗椰菜花嚟做個底 ，OK？ 個 cauliflower 個底 ，OK？So instead of using white, flour, we're not going to do that. We use cauliflower. So that's what we're going to do. Now, first step, how much cauliflower we have here? We have a total of 2 cups cauliflower, 2 cups. OK， 咁其實呢度有幾多 cauliflower 啊？做咗出嚟，我哋大概有2個杯咁大嘅 cauliflower 啦。咁但係呢度仲有咧乜嘢係做好㗎？仲有呢個咧就係1/2 cup 半杯咧係咩咧？係 Parmesan cheese。芝士啊，我哋 Parmesan cheese 亦都磨咗粉嘅，即係磨碎咗佢啦。 咁咧就係一隻雞蛋，咁好簡單嘅。其實咧，我哋將呢嘢撈埋晒佢咧，咁就做咗出嚟咧，做咗呢個叫做 pizza 薄餅個底啦。So very easy, as I mentioned, 2 cup cauliflower, 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and when they mix together, after that, is kind of ready to do, and I can put it here as a pan to make my pizza base instead of white flour base. So I'm going to start doing that now, okay? So now, first we're going to put the eggs in, and then I'll beat the eggs, okay? So don't beat it too big, don't do too hard, just do this, okay? Just do this. So you can see that ready, and then after that, we will, 咁啊雞蛋就發到佢差唔多，即係發爛咗佢啦，發到佢即係白蛋白啊同埋蛋黃啊都大家好 mix 啦，睇到 ，OK？ 咁然後之後咧，第二樣嘢啦，咁我就揾啲 cauliflower 即係白椰菜花就掟落去 ，OK？I'm going to mix up the cauliflower. No, I mean I've got Parmesan cheese. We'll do the Parmesan cheese first and cauliflower at the end. But we'll try to do this first, okay? Let's do this, okay? Okay, so you can do, yeah, do it all, okay, you know. So easy to do. You see? Very easy, not hard at all. You sound nice? It's almost shaped up, is good. And then now we're going to do our the mix is our cauliflower. 嗱，就擺咗雞蛋先，第二就擺芝士，擺完芝士落去咧，咁我而家就擺我哋嘅白椰菜花，咁啊擺落去搞啦。兩個杯椰菜花 ，so we now mix everything with the cauliflower, mix it together. Okay, now we'll do that, and I will continue mix until everything all ready. So why don't we do that after mix? Then I'll get back to you. Okay, we turn on the camera, and that time sometime we get mixed. Okay, now I'm gonna mix all this now. I've been mixing it for about 1 minute. Mix everything again. So it looks something like this now. You can see 我哋個 mix 晒咧就變咗咁嘅，睇到啊？你睇到清楚 ？OK 睇到啦 ，OK。咁啊，我而家咧就將我哋嘅 cauliflower 就放落呢個板嗰度咧。咁如果你有圓沉序嘅東西，有一個 pizza 圓沉序啦，但係冇啊，咁我就唯有做個 square pizza 都一樣嘅啫。OK， 呢個係冇分別嘅。OK， 得。咁依家就做咗一樣先。嗱，我首先我就 preheat 咗 oven 啦，咁我哋咧係190度 C， 然後咧個 oven 之後咧就係焗大概20分鐘。咁我首先咧，因為我係冇嗰個 square 啊，咁因為冇嗰個圓揼嘅東西咧，咁唯有咧我就只係擺明佢就一個 square 咁樣，咁然後咧就慢慢一路咁樣就做到平晒咧，咁我就可以做到我哋個 pizza 出嚟㗎啦。OK， 咁啊好簡單嘅，其實呢個就將平平地啦，咁啊整靚仔佢啦，咁就可以即係做到佢square， 咁就可以做到㗎咯。咁呢啲薄啲嘅 ，OK， 嗱薄啲咧就好味啲嘅，因為個底咧就會係可以講為咧係即係鬆化啲啊，窿窿地啊，鬆化啲啊。So what I'm saying is, when you do this, all you do is just do this real easy, just like a square. You can make it round also, but I don't have the round pizza pan, so I'm just making it square, and that's how you do it. And after you finish, and then you preheat the oven, and the oven will be 190 C and 20 minutes, and that's how it looks like. You see? That's how it looks like. Okay, now I'm going to put it inside my pizza, my oven, and start cooking it, and that's what we will do. Okay, and we will do it for 20 minutes, 190 degrees. I'll see you later. Hi, I'm back. Okay, the oven just cooked. That's means my pizza base is all ready.
嗱，頭先我行去咗之後咧，做咗已經差唔多20分鐘㗎啦。咁啱叮一聲咧，即係話我個 pizza 嘅底咧已經係熟咗。咁其實咧熟咗之後咧，咁我哋拎出嚟咧做咩啊？我拎出嚟咧要做擺啲我哋依家要嘅東西上去啦，好似Parmesan cheese 啦，唔係呢個係mozzarella cheese 啦，咁呢個係 sausage 啦，同埋呢個係 basil 啦。basil 係叫千層塔，咁然後咧就呢個我哋嘅意大醬啦，咁同埋咧再加啲係 Italian 嘅spinach 加落去，咁就差唔多啦。Okay, now for the my pizza base is ready. It's made by cauliflower. And once it's ready, so what I will do is I will just cook it for 20 minutes so it's all nice and brown. And I'll take it out and I'm going to put all my wonderful ingredient. Actually, you can put any ingredient. So you can put mozzarella cheese, sausage. If you want to put ham, you put ham. And then there's basil, Italian sauce. And I'll show you how the sauce looks like, okay? Go turn off the camera, get the sauce first. Okay, now, I just want to explain. You can use any kind of sauce. You can use regular tomato sauce, and you can also use Papa Alfredo sauce, or any kind of sauce. So the sauce and anything like that is up to you. So it's easy. The topping is all up to your choice. So I'm going to take my pizza out, and then I'll show you how it works. Okay, so let's go with the pizza, how it looks like first. Okay, I'm going to do this now. I'll take this out. Now, when I do it out, you can see how nice the pizza has been. Now the base, you see the base? Beautiful, isn't it? 你睇我嘅 pizza 嘅 base 咧係我哋椰菜花白嚟嘅可以做出嚟嘅喎。咁所以咧係好靚仔嘅，睇到 ？OK， 咁我而家就放喺度。首先咧，我哋將佢轉咗佢，因為將個底咧，依家再面嘅時候咧，就可以咧成個咧就可以去做咗嗰個呢度整咗之後咧，咁我就下邊可以焗埋嘅。OK， 咁就兩樣都一樣咁好，即係好似空空地咁啦。咁so you have to turn the pizza around. So now what we'll do is I'm going to use my tomato sauce and spread it around. Then I can use the basil, 千層塔咧放喺上面，然後俾 sausage, and then mozzarella cheese. And then after you finish, we'll put it inside the oven again, cook it for another 10 minutes, and we have nice pizza. Okay, so we're going to do it now. So I'm just going to spread this around, very easy. Make sure that it's spread evenly. Okay, it's very easy to do. Spread it around. Okay? Okay, that's all right. Just spread it all. As long as you spread it all over and even, and that should be okay. Okay? So now, the next step, I'm going to put basil, 千層塔, okay? So I put here. I like basil, so I like to put a little more basil. I really like basil, so I put it more on here. Then after that, and I put my sausage. Now, 其實咧，你擺咩落去咧？可以擺 ham 又得，擺即係其他嘅雞肉又得。咁我哋用 hot dog 又得 ，sausage 又得，乜都得㗎。總之你中意食咩，擺咩落去都 OK 嘅 ，OK？ 咁你可以煮得好好味嘅呢個。OK， 又擺 擺呢個咧，咁然之後咧，我就擺呢個莫上 cheese 啦 ，OK。Okay, now I'm going to finish up with my cheese. Make sure that everywhere you get fill up right here. Make sure you make sure it fill up correctly. 將所有嘅芝士能夠擺得正晒，每一個地方都有嘅。咁你嗰個 pizza 咧就好靚啦。但係咧做完之後好似咁樣嘅，靚唔靚啊？你睇下 ，OK。咁然之後咧，咁呢個咧就準備咧喺個焗爐嗰度都係190度，但係咧就會係大約焗10分鐘 ，OK。咁但係我變咗焗之前咧，我就放心一啲意大利呢個叫做意大利finish，OK。咁呢個係即係意大利胡椒咁嘅嘢啦，好似啊 ，OK。So we just go flour it up, that's good enough. So this is what it is. Can you see? Got it? Okay. All right, good. So now we finished. So we're going to put it inside the pan again, and then we'll cook it for 10 minutes. And now after that, we will have pizza to eat. Okay? Okay, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Wow, oven 已經開始。個 pizza 係話可以 ready 拎出嚟啦。咁我依家咧就第一，我依家會係將個 pizza 攞出嚟先，就放喺呢度攤咗佢5分鐘，咁然後拎佢切。Okay, just like the thing, and guess what? The pizza is ready. So I'm going to take it out and take my pizza out, and then basically let it cool off a little bit, and then from there we will. It will cut and try and look like. I'll show you how it looks like first, okay? Wow, it looks so good. That's how our pizza looks like, you see? Isn't that really looks wonderful, very cheesy, and it looks delicious. 但係咧，幾靚仔嘅 pizza 好 cheesy 嘅，呢個 pizza 又香味又好 cheesy。咁我依家咧就放翻喺呢個 pan 度先，係咪啊 ？So I'm going to leave this from here to cool off. I'm going to leave it in my pan like this, okay? I'll leave it for about 5 minutes to cool off first. Okay, now you can see how wonderful the pizza. 其他幾靚仔個 pizza， 又香味好食。嗱，依家我再同你咧係分享下個味道如何 ，OK？ 咁啊，等5分鐘先。Okay, so we're gonna take 5 minutes to cool off before we cut it. So see you in 5 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes now. 我依家翻嚟啦，因為5分鐘啦，咁啊都攤到咗一啲啦。咁依家 cut 咧就呢個 pizza knife 睇到。The pizza knife. So I've used a pizza knife to cut on the side, and we'll cut a bit and take a look, see how good it is. Wow, it looks very delicious. I put a little bit on here. Okay, let's see how it tastes like. Wow, it looks so. You see how juicy it is? You know how nice? Get closer. So let's get closer. And that look delicious. Really, I'll put it on a plate and show you how it looks like. 係咯，好靚仔喎，聽到啊 ？So nice the pizza. Good. So now I'm gonna try to eat a little bit and see how it tastes. I don't know how good it is, but look, smell, it's delicious. 好香嘅，依家個 pizza 真係好香。咁我試下好味先嚇。好香好香口。OK， 試試。好味。It's so wonderful. It's very, very juicy, It tastes very Italian and it's just delicious. 好味。第一，因為好多芝士喺度啦，咁令到成個味道咧好香芝士味，個腸同埋咧仲有所有 sauce 都令到成個咧即係食嘅經驗咧係十分正，哇，好正。So this is so delicious. So this is the cauliflower 椰菜花pizza, cauliflower pizza, and it's delicious, it's wonderful. And you can put anything in there, like ham, chicken, or beef, or sausage, Italian sausage, anything you want. And with I like basil and sausage, that's why it's good. So this is what it is. So I will enjoy this piece. That's wonderful. So and now, I'm still excited. And we have more recipe for you. And next time, 我哋會有更加好嘅 recipe. So bye bye.
Okay, I wonder, can you hear me now? I just want to see whether there are any questions you can ask, and I can help you to answer your question. 各位堂友有冇其他嘅問題咧？我可以聽唔聽到我講啊 ？OK 得可唔可以講講咧？你各位有冇問題咧？咁我哋或者依家係答你咧。Do you have any question? Maybe perhaps I can answer you. Then that way, you know, I could able to provide you, you know, any kind of question you have in the webinar. You can hear me? Can you give me a 1? I just want to check. You can hear me. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Thank you, Edwina from Hawaii. Yeah, can you also ask any question you have on A1C or any other question, Pat? If you have question, I could help to answer you. So in the next time when you go to see a doctor, make sure you actually ask them for A1C. 如果下次去睇醫生咧，最緊要都係問下個醫生，喂，我依家最近 A1C 點啊？OK，有個問題啦，好特別啊！Thanks Eugene for asking the question. Is A1C only from lab test? The answer is yes. The actual A1T, you have to take a blood sample. Now, however, remember the lectures I gave you earlier? You could actually give you some A1C estimate. And let me show you this slide right here. I think you can see the slide. And you remember this picture? You can actually do a calculation of A1C on the page with the relation A1C. Remember, I asked you to take a picture. So you could use your regular blood sugar testing, and then you can calculate your A1C that way. That might be, you know, might be helpful to kind of help you to have a understanding what is the A1C. So, but on the other hand, you do need to take a lab test from the doctor. And a lot of time, the doctor will ask you to take the lab test first before you actually go to see you. 嗱，唔好唔記得堂友，各位朋友咧，你多數如果真係攞 A1C 正確嘅 A1C， 一定係你個 lab 嗰度攞翻嚟嘅，就唔係話喺嗰個所謂呢個叫做即係自己做到出嚟嘅。但係我未有個 slide 有個picture 俾你嘅一個 A1C equal 你現有個血糖幾多，再加46.7，然後就除翻20.87，咁嗰個就俾一個 sort of 嘅 rough estimate A1C。Okay, so remember the slide I gave you a formula. The formula was A1C equal what is your blood sugar at that time? Could be 154. If you're 8.6, it's 154. Remember that formula? And then plus 46.7. And then you add that two numbers together and divide 28.7, you will get the A1C. So that will give you a rough estimate A1C. But the real actual data A1C, you really need to actually get a lab test. Okay, so thanks, Eugene, for the question. That's a very good question. I appreciate that. Another question, what was the temperature of the cauliflower pizza? Is 190 C. So let me tell you what is 190 C equivalent to. So I give you the temperature. Let's see, temperature. Okay, 190 C. So 190 C is equal to 374 Fahrenheit. 190 C equal 374 Fahrenheit. 嗱，頭先個 question 問咧，如果讀個 pizza 嘅時候咧，咁係用幾多度啊？190度 C 咧就等於374個Fahrenheit. So 190 C equivalent to 374 Fahrenheit. So that will be the temperature to make the pizza. I tell you, the pizza is very delicious. You don't have to be a diabetic or pre-diabetic. Eat that. Anybody love it. My children love it. My daughter love it. My son-in-law love it. My wife love it. Even my dad's love it. He's 93. They all love the pizza. I tell you, it's so good. And also, I have a lot of friends from, all over the world, actually, who tried it, wrote back to me, like, Patricia from Singapore. She said, this is one of the very best pizzas she ever had. So good to try that, okay? So the next question is, what do you like to, when you take A1C, when must be after fasting? Is 2-3-month measure? That's a good question. 嗱，個 question 就係問，如果 A1C 係咪都要 fasting 嘅咧？嗱 ，most likely 都會嘅。點解咧？就係 so I answer the question in English first, and I'll go back in Chinese. Now A1C, most likely the doctor will say, hey, take a blood sugar for your A1C. Plus, understand when you have no food in there, what is your blood sugar? So most likely they will take a blood sample. We have no food, which is the fasting blood sugar. In other words, in nighttime before 12 to April morning about 7 or 8, you go to the lab and take the blood sugar. And that's the time they take the blood sugar. They will take what is actual at that time, the blood sugar, most likely maybe 120, or maybe you're 7 or 6, whatever. And then they would take the A1C, which is the average sugar that binding your hemoglobin cells. So most likely you also do a fasting blood sugar with the A1C test. And they would they will always do that for that blood test. And usually about 2 to 3 months, most likely 3 months, because the doctor would say 3 months to measure the diabetes. In pre-diabetic, usually about 6 months to 1 year. So 6 months a year, that's how they do it. 嗱，如果你去個驗個 A1C 咧，多數咧個醫生都話，唔好食嘢啊，由夜晚12點鐘至8點鐘唔好食嘢，咁就空腹嚟度嘅。度咗之後咧，喺個攞血之後咧，咁佢睇你個現有嗰陣時血糖幾多 ，most likely 你係會7啊、8啊，或者6點幾啦 ，whatever 5點幾啦。咁嗰陣時佢再計埋 A1C 即係 average 嘅 blood sugar 有幾多糖係 attach 你個 hemoglobin 嘅細胞個蛋白，咁你就會睇到咧就如果依家係6.5或者6.4或者7 whatever 個 percent， 所以依個係 per percentage 嘅，即係百分點嘅。你個糖咧就即係如果你係度咗血糖咧，就喺香港咧就係 mmol per liter， 喺美國咧就 mg per deal，okay? So in United States you measure your sugar will be milligram per deal. Most likely you'll be somewhere, if you're supposed to be good sugar, you should be about 120. But in Hong Kong, you'll be at 6.7 or that range, okay? Or actually, good sugar should be about 6.5. So that's how they look at it. Okay, another question is what size of pizza of 2 gram carb? Okay, if you take a piece around this size, okay? In other words, one piece. So about that, okay, you should get about 2 grams. But that is a very good carb. It's actually is a very good carb for 2.5 grams. So even eat a little more at 4 carbs, okay? But it's about that big. It's 2.5 grams. So anyway, that would be extremely good. Any other questions? I think it's very good. You guys have asked a lot of good questions. I love the question. I appreciate you actually very much participatory. Thank you very much for all the questions you asked. Any other questions you folks have? Okay. If no more questions, remember, sign up next week, December 19th for Hong Kong time at 3:30. For Hawaii time is December 18th at 9:30 to listen to Professor Jane Young. And she will be talking about diabetic eye. I think it is a tremendous good webinar to help you better understanding one of the key issues with diabetic eye. So I'm looking forward to see you all in next week webinar. Let's see, any more questions? Yeah, I think we've got answer all your questions. So wonderful. I appreciate and thank you very much for time on us, on your busy schedule. And I appreciate it. If you have any question, I will give you my email again, and I put it down. You can copy it. You can see my email, and WhatsApp will be, that's my WhatsApp number. You can see my WhatsApp number. You ask me questions. I love to respond to you. Actually, a lot of people ask questions at nighttime during the evening with me. And it's so nice to hear so many of the story they gave me. Like the reason why I'm doing this webinar was because a lot of these, my client or customer and my patient say, hey, I become a diabetic because I didn't know why. And because of the, just went to the doctor office for my health check for insurance. Some was just because cholesterol goes up. So these are all very good questions. I appreciate again. Thank you very much for your time spending with us. I appreciate all the wonderful time you and spend the time listening to my lecture. So okay, good. I'll see you soon. You take care, and looking forward for the next webinar. Thank you again. Bye bye.